Hello and welcome to week 7. Congratulations on making it to the end of this course. In this lesson, we're going to look at multimedia in HTML. My name is Mildred. Now in HTML, we can insert media files on the web page. We can insert videos, audios, and the likes. We have an element, the video element, that we use to insert the video file on a page when we start video and then we end video. Now this by itself will not insert a video on a page. We need another element, the source element, between the start and end video element that we use to specify the location of the image that we want to insert on the page. Now the start tag of the video element takes attributes. Every time you want to load media files, you want to specify the height and the width of the file. So let's say height is equal to, let's make it 500 and let's make width 500. There are other attributes that we use. If we use the controls attributes just to have the play, pause and volume button, and you can also have an autoplay attribute. Now this autoplay attribute is no longer supported by most browsers and media types except if you add muted, so it will autoplay muted. So people don't want to come to a web page and then the noise just starts, and so most browsers will play it muted automatically, and if muted is not there, it will not autoplay. So you want to specify this for the very least attributes: the height, the width, controls, autoplay, muted. Now we can use CSS to change what we want with our different elements. So the CSS course is open, the JavaScript is also open, where we can look at how to use the DOM to manipulate video elements, and you want to take the JavaScript course if you want to go deeper into front-end development. Now for the source element, we add the source attribute src, and here we specify the path to the media file that we want to use. Now we have a video here, lesson1.mp4 is in the same directory, so I just specify that. The next attribute we want to add here is the type. Now media files, all files, if you followed from the first course, Understanding Programming and Software Development, you will realize that we have different file extension for different file types. Most of the time when you see media files, you see things like .mp4, you will see, or mp3 for audio, and then you see things like .avi and the likes. There are a lot of different types. So when you look at the file name, and the extension will tell you what type it is. Now this is a video file, and so the type is going to be video/mp4. mp4 is the most widely supported media type. Now you might have different media types. You want to specify them in order here. Let's say we have another one that is, we have lesson1.ogg for instance, and then we'll put that here. So the browser will choose which one is support, and then it picks one and plays. So you have all of those files there. I do not have these files, but I want to show you what you can do here. Let's say we have one that is .avi, and then you put the media type for AVI here. So this AVI might be for audio, but you get the general idea. So we have just one here, and you can put a text if you wish. Your browser does not support video. Now when we go to our web page, I'm going to open that. We have the video playing automatically but muted. We have the controls there. So you can remove this to play, and you can pause back, and you have all the controls that we need to have there if you want. Alright, so this is all about video elements. When you take the JavaScript and CSS course, we'll look further at how to beautify the placements, to change some of the default behaviors and attributes of all of this. So we also have something we call the track element, and if you have things like a file for different subtitles, let's say you want to subtitle in English, in Spanish, in French, we can add the track element. Let me take this out. The track elements like this, it doesn't have a close tag. We use the source attribute like this to specify the location of the subtitle. Let's say lesson1.vtt, and then we want to use the kind attribute to specify the kind, which is subtitle, and then we want to put like the source language, which is English EN, and then let's just use the label attributes to put English, and then we can add one here for Spanish. We don't have the files for subtitle, but we want to specify them for you to know how to use them. So let's call this lesson 1 Spanish like this, and then subtitles, the source language will just recognize the source language, and then the label here will be Spanish. Okay, so now you know how to deal with video files. Let's go to our web page and refresh this, and then we can see that if we had that file, we will have that there. So you can add the captions here English or Spanish because we chose subtitle, but we don't have a subtitle file for it to pick up. Alright, so you can always get your subtitles in a file and then upload them places like YouTube, and then you can have that file when you create your video, when you want to embed video on the web page, to select the subtitles if you have them in Spanish, in French, and when you come to captions, then you post that. So previously, without the track element here, we do not have the caption option on the video. So when I take out the track and I refresh, we don't have captions here because we have no track elements to specify that there is a caption tag. And sometimes you see during the video production, I already embedded subtitle in the video that cannot be removed, and so the subtitle was no longer needed. The same way we did the video elements, you can change this to audio if your file is an audio file. It's similar. You look for the file extension for your audio file and you just replace them there. It is exactly the same. So this is where we end this lesson and this course. I hope to see you in an advanced course in the nearest future. Thank you, and see you in another course.